This episode is brought to you by Iams Pet Food. When you choose Iams dry dog or cat food, you can see a difference in your pet with your own eyes. Healthy energy in 5 days, healthy digestion in 10 days, and healthy skin and coat in just 25 days. Satisfaction for you and them. Guaranteed or your money back. Feed Iams dry dog or cat food and see a visible difference. Visit iams.com/difference to learn more.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay, things people love.
This episode is brought to you by Atlassian. Atlassian makes the team collaboration software that powers enterprise businesses around the world, including over 80% of the Fortune 500. With Atlassian's AI-powered software like Jira, Confluence, and Loom, you'll have more time to do the work that matters. In fact, Atlassian customers experience a 25% reduction in project duration per year. Unleash the potential of your team at Atlassian.com. Atlassian.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See detail.
By this point, we all know that Matt Eberflus has been excused as the Bears head coach. The trash has been taken out to the alley, thrown in the black garbage can, and kicked down the street. It's over. Thomas Brown is not a HNIC, albeit on an interim basis. I think what's left is to clarify the Bears' chain of command now that Eberflus and Shane Waldron are gone from the building. Key codes have been changed. Their parking passes have been revoked, and they're no longer allowed inside O'Hare or Midway. Q, who's our new offensive coordinator?
It looks like Thomas Brown is going to remain the play caller and play designer. And I personally like that. Caleb Williams has made a lot of progress under his reign as offensive coordinator, and I like that continuity.
You're right. Thomas Brown will stay the play caller, but as it stands, wide receiver coach Chris Betty.
Right. Well, I guess he's the
right
coordinator. Yeah, by title.
Right. He got a promotion. Everybody's getting promotion in the building thanks to Eberflus. If Eberflus didn't do nothing right, he got people promoted and got them raises for the holiday season. Shout out to him for that.
Listen, y'all can say what y'all want about Eberflus. Eberflus made a brother the defensive coordinator. He made a brother the head coach, and he made one of the brothers offensive coordinator. Eberflus is for the call. Say what you want. Thanks to Eberflus, we have a black head coach. We got a black offensive coordinator, a black defensive coordinator. We have a black quarterback. We have a black head coach. We got a black GM. We have a black president. And
president is black.
Everything is black. Now listen to my listeners. We want wins. That's what we want to see. We don't care if everybody in control is pink, which is making a note of how far the National Football League has come, where you have black people in positions of power, positions of success, the elite position on the football field. But personally, I don't care if the Bears were all blue, yellow, pink, orange. I want to see a winner. I need to see a Super Bowl.
As long as they're not green or yellow.
Agreed.
Chris Beatty He comes from the same tree that Thomas Brown comes from, the Sean McVay tree. He was the Los Angeles Rams wide receiver coach for a few years before he came to the Bears to do the same job. So to go back to what you said about Thomas Brown still calling the plays, I think that's the right call. I think, as we'll talk about later, Caleb Williams has taken a tremendous step under his tutelage. We don't want to rock the boat any further for this quarterback, right?
I think that's the most important thing as the season finishes out. There's 5 games left. The continued development of Caleb Williams. That's extremely important going into next year. I personally feel like Caleb Williams is ascending to the top 12 quarterback status. I mean, it's still early, but the last few weeks, he's played like a top 12 quarterback in the NFL.
What's up, everyone? I'm nerd commentator Frankie Smith.
And I'm entertainment journalist Tyler Coates.
And we're the host of DC Studio Showcase, the official podcast presented by Max. Every episode, we're joined by our comic correspondent, Coy Jandro, to talk culture, talk comics, and invite all kinds of guests into the studio with us for exclusive interviews. DC Studio Showcase, the official podcast, drops every other week, starting Friday, December 6th. You can find us on Max, the Max YouTube channel, or listen wherever you get your podcasts.
You're not going to get no argument out of me. I think he's a top. Maybe not say top 12. I mean, because when you say top 12, I'm thinking about fantasy rankings. I wouldn't start him, right? I wouldn't start him and not worry about it. Maybe I would say top 15.
I will start him this week. Really? I think the Bears are primed for some good things this week. I will start him this week. I tried to pick him up. Somebody snatched him.
We don't get into that. Thomas Brown, maybe this is just me, but Thomas Brown today in the press conference after all of the dust settled this week, he did say that he was coming out of the booth and he'll be on the sideline. Now, I was waiting for that type of announcement because maybe it's just me, but I think that was one of the key differences between him and Shane Waldron, maybe where he found success and where Shane was piss poor. Shane was on the sideline, if you recall, a lot during this season. And I think as a coordinator, you need to be in the booth. You need to have that eagle eye over the field so you can make the proper adjustments. You can see what's going on. You had that all 22 feel, right? So as we record this on Thursday, right before the Thursday night football game, I like watching Prime Vision. I like the all 22 view. I like to be able to see the play develop from the sky. And I think that's what a coordinator should do. I think that's in his job title. If you ask me, you need to be able to see the play, be able to screenshot that, send it down to the sideline. So when your unit comes off the field, goes to the bench, you can show them, hey, this is what you need to look for next time. You can't do that from the sideline. You can't do. No. That's what Shane Waldron was just over there, with his hand in his pocket, standing next to Eberflus, just barking in the microphone. If you ask me, that's why he was calling speed options on the weak side, because he can't see that the side of the field is too short for that type of call.
That, and I think it's really important to see what the safeties are doing.
Exactly.
How are they rotating? How are they disguising their coverages? Are they showing one look pre-snap and then moving to single higher? I mean, these are very smart football men. But as you said, when you are on one side of the field, you might not be able to see what the wheel is doing or what the free safety is doing, or you might not be able to see all these details of these guys maybe walking in the box, moving out of the box, all these little details. So I definitely agree. I think offensive coordinators should be in the booth looking down. I definitely agree.
Elsewhere in that same press conference, what I'm referencing, Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles were there as well. I was listening to a lot with Kevin Warren, I have to say, because we don't get to hear from him too often, as you probably shouldn't with a lot of teams. You don't get to hear the president, CEO speak too much, especially during the season, because most well-run teams don't have this type of confusion during the season. But what Kevin Warren was talking about, he was asked who ultimately had the final say in the next head coach search. And I I think the question had to do like if there's a disagreement, if there's a difference of opinion on when you're on what they're searching for, who gets the final say. And what he said was, we'll work that out when we finalize our hiring committee process. I don't know if you understand what that means, but I definitely don't understand what that means. Basically, to me, I felt like he was kicking the can down the road and not really answering the question. So shout out to the media who pressed his ass and said, "Hey, who has final say?" Yes, I mean, like, name a name right now. And he came back to say Ryan Poles has final say on who is the next head coach of the Chicago Bears, which kind of answers another question is about his job performance and his tenure, how shaky that is. Me and you, at least, well, everybody concerned with the Bears, we know that Ryan Poles is the general manager from here on out. How do you feel about that? You think the Bears should have maybe an opening this offseason for a general manager as well?
I'm willing to give Poles a chance to hire another coach. I think with the roster construction, I do like a lot of the pieces on the roster. I do feel like coaching is the biggest reason why this team is probably underperformed this year. So I feel like Poles has done his job, even though he is the guy that hired Eberflus. What I found interesting is, I don't know if you read this today, was a report, was it McNeil? So Jim Harbaugh inquired about the Bears job, and Warren absolutely shut the door on that. So while I do feel like it should be Poles who has the final say so of the head coaching hire, I do kind of wonder, will this be more of a committee thing? Does Ryan Poles have final and only say so of the head coaching hire? How much influence does Warren have? How much influence do the McCaskies have? Because Harbaugh being, you know how I feel about Jim Harbaugh. I wanted him as the Bears coach. I like Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah. Why is that? Why are you so hard on for Jim Harbaugh? Why do you want him so bad back in navy blue and orange and khaki?
Jim Harbaugh has coached 4 teams. Wherever he goes to coach, those teams win. I don't think that's a coincidence. He came to the 49ers when they were rebuilding, brought them to a Super Bowl. He went to Stanford when Stanford was terrible, made them bowl relevant again, made them a top 25 ranked team. He went to Michigan when they were sputtering, kicked Ohio State's ass several times in a row. They're still kicking Ohio State's ass, and left with a national championship. He goes to the Chargers, who were a 5-12 team. Got rid of a lot of skill position players, bolstered both sides of the line, and has his team as an 8-win team now with 5 games left. Jim Harbaugh's a winner. That's simply it. That's why I like Jim Harbaugh. That's why I've wanted Jim Harbaugh here. Wherever he goes, he wins. He may rub people the wrong way in the front office. He may be a jerk. He may be a little bit of a meatball, a meathead. But Jim Harbaugh wins, and I respect that. And if he has to cheat to win, he'll do that. And I'm tired of the Packers beating us. I like that Jim Harbaugh goes after his rivals. So, yeah, that's why I've been a Jim Harbaugh fan as a coach.
At this point, we've lost 11 games in a row to the Packers. I don't care. I don't care if we have to break laws to beat them now. Cheating, I'm not above cheating.
He's gonna lie. He's gonna use his privilege. He's gonna do whatever he has to do to win, and I like that. I don't like this timeouts to win. That perplexes me.
Yeah, I wonder if he's put that last timeout on eBay yet. If he put it on GOAT, I wonder how much it'll go for.
Yeah. How much do you think he could sell it for?
Probably as much as he gonna have to sell that house he has up there in Lake Bluff.
Yeah, what does he do with the timeouts that go unused in halves? Where is he saving them? What evil plan does he have? Eberflus might be a villain. Look, he's got a villain look. He's got that look of and I want to be careful in what I say, even though usually when I say I want to be careful in what I say something that may offend a small group of people. But he kind of reminds me. He got that look of like that Marvel villain that was in that. What's the one where he shrinks himself? Hank Pym. What is it called?
Yeah. He looks like I know what you're talking about. Ant-Man.
Yeah, he looks like one of the villains that wanted to rival technology in Ant-Man. I don't know.
Yeah, he don't look like him at all.
He's got a Kevin Costner look to me.
He do look like Kevin Costner. You're thinking about Yellowstone.
I never got into Yellowstone. Maybe I should. I'm looking for something to binge now that our season is coming to a perilous end.
No, we ain't got time for no binging. the show is just starting. The show just starting. We got a lot of work to get into, even because unlike last off season, we're gonna have a coaching search we got to get into. We got to, after they actually name a coach, we got draft picks. This is a very important draft. Q, well, if you got binging to do, I suggest you do it over the Christmas break because we got
and listen,
January is gonna be tough.
The off season, Pose, man, do some of that salary cap, bro. I'm tired of going in. We don't need to be the team with the most salary cap. We ain't got to sign Justin. We ain't got to sign a quarterback for a long time. And I need you to use that cap space. Like we can't let Lloyd Cushenberry not be here. We can't continue to see offensive line talent not be here. I can't keep seeing Xavier McKinney catching, leading the NFL in interceptions. Bro, we had a hole of safety, we had a hole of center. And I don't like nothing Green Bay, but I can't lie to you and tell you Xavier McKinney, you heard on the show, Brother Payday told you to sign him. He said go get Xavier McKinney. Kevin Bird, cool. Xavier McKinney is an all-pro. Not the second.
When you think about all the newcomers to the division that are absolutely dogging it right now, I think the Bears, as far as newcomers, they got Keenan Allen, DeAndre Swift, Kevin Byard. Those are a clear rung, a clear tier underneath Xavier McKinney, Van Ginkel, Jonathan Grenard, Sam Darnold, Josh Jacobs. All of these guys were available. And I'm not saying Josh Jacobs should have been on your Christmas list, but to Q's point, this is going to be the third year in a row you've got the most cap money. Spend those funds. Spend them.
McKinney was one that kind of really. I'm almost surprised we didn't go harder after McKinney. He definitely fit into what the Bears preach. He's a guy that gets a lot of turnovers. He's a young guy. I think McKinney is 25. He's a young guy. He's kind of the center field type guy. He would have been the perfect complement to Jaquan Brisker, So Poe, spend that bag. You don't go into that in that club with all them ones and not throw them. Ain't nothing gonna shake for you if you don't throw that money. And we needed to shake. It ain't trick. You got it, Pose. You got it, trick. Don't worry about what everybody else thinking about you. Them dudes that's not spending their money and being real frugal, they're not getting action on the weekends. The baddie's not coming unless you spending the money. We need baddies.
I don't need nothing underneath an 8. I don't care about 7s. I don't care if my mama like them. I need them to look good on Sunday.
Man, Pose, you done acquired a lot of Inglewood 6s, a lot of West Side 5s, getting Ryan Bates and Damon Shelton. No disrespect to my family, no disrespect to my West Siders, but no, it's not gonna work, bro.
It's not gonna work. Shout out to Connor Stallions. I wonder if he's also on Jim Harbaugh's staff out there in LA. Last thing from that press conference that I took that piqued up my curiosity. Also from Kevin Warren in that press conference, he was asked, how much input would Caleb Williams have in the search for the next Bears head coach? And he didn't say that he will or he won't have any input. I don't think he should have any input. That's just me. I mean, that's not something that that's not something that football players, especially young football players, are generally hear about them having. Somebody like Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady, yeah, they would have input because they've won MVPs, they've won Super Bowls. You expect that.
Did you say Aaron Rodgers?
I did say Aaron Rodgers.
Bro,
he shouldn't have input because all he want to do is hire the block. But
he want to hire his friends.
That's right. That's all he want to do. He just want to put the team on.
Hire your friends. Shout out Lil Durk, free Lil Durk. Can't always hire your friends for that hit job. Sometimes you got to go United Healthcare. You got to go outside. Was I not supposed to say that? Was I not supposed to say that? Is that a bad? Do we got to edit that out? Was I not supposed to say that?
Hey, it flew right underneath the radar.
Dude got the job done. That didn't look like a little friendly hire. He can't do what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, he set up. He was very professional about it.
Listen, listen. I'm not trying to make light of a death, but I'm just trying to say that's a job well done. He did it thoroughly. Walk down, step over, finish, bail out. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I'm from Chicago, so I gotta respect it. We respect the shooters. That's all I'm saying.
That's definitely what we do in Chicago. We respect the ones that got shot. We respect the shooters.
We respect.
I don't think Caleb should have a role in this hiring process, but Kevin Warren said that the guy who has the best plan for developing a young quarterback will probably be the guy who ascends to the top of their desire list and probably ultimately be the one that they offer the job to. I know from me, you, and everybody else in the Bears Nation, we like to go back on who's had success with quarterbacks, who's had success in offense, who's done it before, right? That's how we will look at it.
Yeah.
But it's really in an interview process, it's what you can sell. That's right. What plan do you have, and can you sell your plan to the hiring team? Can you make them believe what you're putting out there? So it doesn't really matter if Ben Johnson's had this high-flying offense in Detroit for the last few years. If he can't get out there and sell you his vision, Slowick might have the best plan. Slowick might be able to wow them in an interview process, and he would be the one that gets the job. And that's just how it is in the real world. Last thing here, and this is going all the way back to last Thursday when the Bears hilariously lost that game. A lot of Bears fans, there's been a lot of discussion about whose job is it to call the timeout. There's been a lot of blame on Eberflus. Some people, and these are mostly Caleb haters, they say Caleb could have called a timeout, and he could have. Quarterbacks can call a timeout. And the offensive coordinator, Caleb, said that he was waiting on the play from Thomas Brown. Thomas Brown usually gets the play in early. For some reason, he didn't get it in early at that time. Caleb Williams didn't get a timeout call from the sideline. He didn't get the play on time. So when he did get the play, he was audibly trying to make a game-winning play or whatever. You can take it either way you want to. I would probably put less culpability on Caleb than I would on Matt Eberflus. Caleb is 22 years old. He's still learning the game of football.
Why
Matt Eberflus.
Caleb Williams for everything. Why? The Bears give him a touchdown. They want to blame Caleb. Why is Caleb such a magnet for hate and criticism? What did this kid do? Is what I'm trying to figure out.
What he did.
It do that people want to give him a chance.
You know what he did.
Painted his nails.
That's one of them. That's one of them.
Why he cried?
That's the other two. That's the other thing. There's one more.
He's really good.
Debatable.
Well, he was really good in college, and people think he was privileged, and overhyped.
He took Justin's job.
That is one. Yes. But he was Floyd took Justin's job, though. There were a lot of people who wanted to declare him a bust. Now, I know we all have draft prognosticators. We all have our opinions. But it's like the reasons I hear for him being a bust just don't make sense, you know?
Who calls a bust this early? It's been 11 games. You can't call there's no way you can call a bust that early. People are just dying to throw dirt on this man's, not even man. People are dying to throw dirt on this kid's career before it's even started. It's crazy. I mean,
but the crazy thing is we watched him throw for how many yards did he throw against the Lions? 260?
Somewhere around there.
3 touchdowns, no picks. And there are people just nitpicking that game. And it's like, I am pretty sure if it was another rookie quarterback that had that game, they'd be like, what a game. They lost. What a game by that kid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry for go ahead. I was just perplexed. I thought maybe one of the listeners might have an answer as to why he's so despised.
I was just saying I would put less blame on Caleb than I would Eberflus. Eberflus has been in this game way too long to be making that type of mistake.
Head coach.
Yeah, he's been a head coach way too long to be making that type of mistake. But he's made error after error after error, and it seemed like he just doesn't learn from mistakes. He's gonna learn today.
You know, I don't know if we were on air or backstage, but we talked about maybe trying to acquire SSI checks for ourselves with the economy being unstable. I think Eberflus might be able to collect the SSI check. I mean, when you say not learning, this sounds like a learning disability. He literally sat on that, and I'm not here to offend anybody, so maybe I should. Whenever I say that, I'm probably going to, okay, I'm just going to say it. He just looked autistic standing on the sideline. He looked autistic. He looked like he didn't know what was going on, like he was learning disabled. He was just watching and in his own little world with a different mind. And I have nothing against autistic people. They're wonderful people. But we all know they're not the best decision makers, you know? I mean, we've all been to school with a couple of them, and they chew on markers. So we're going to edit this stuff out.
So what you're saying is the Bears, when they're on the road, they come to the game with 3 buses, one for the rookies, one for the vets, and a short bus for Eberflus.
Yes, because he just stood there looking with not a thought in his head. Like the game is winding down. There's a timeout. You're not gonna hit one of these. You're not gonna get on the field. Timeout. You're just going to sit there and watch like the rest of us. I'm watching the game and Eberflus watching the game. If that don't speak to you need to be fired, I don't know what is. What are you there for, dude?
Shout out to Rain Man.
Shout out Forrest. Right. That's what Eberflus is a little bit like. Definitely got a little Forrest Gump swag to him.
Forrest Gump. What college did he play at?
Alabama.
He did play at Alabama. Who's Matt Eberflus' old college head coach? There you go. Yeah. There you go. See, the connection is already being made.
The NFL script writers, sneaky. You got leaving us little bird eggs. What do they call it? Easter eggs.
Right. Let's get to our game preview. So usually how we do this, we look at units versus the opposing unit. The defense, let's start there. This is Chicago, and we're a defense-led city. San Francisco has looked horrible the last 2 games. Losses to Green Bay, and they didn't put up a fight. Brock Purdy didn't play in that game. They didn't put up a fight against Buffalo last Sunday night either. Like I said, Purdy missed the Green Bay game, and he came back to look terrible in the West New York snowstorm in Buffalo. How do you think he's going to look against this top 10 Bears scoring defense now with Eric Washington calling the plays?
If this defense still performs like it was under Eberflus, and it tailed off just a little bit in Eberflus's last few games, and I think that was, as we've heard the reports, they were tired of him. It sounded like he got kicked out of the locker room after the Lions game. if it performs the way it has over the last season and a half, this is not a good matchup for Purdy. Purdy takes chances with the ball. He will put it in harm's way, especially when the game script doesn't allow him to just hand off to C-Mac and play from a lead and play from play action. Isaac Guerrero is a draft pick, and he was a fine collegiate player. He's a guy with a lot of speed, a lot of power. So I don't think the 49ers run offense will be just punches. In fact, it might be a little bit better because Christian McCaffrey was still trying to find his footing. However, Guerrero just isn't going to command the same respect and attention that McCaffrey will. So I think this is a tough matchup for Purdy, and I think the Bears can rattle him and have a chance to create some turnovers. I like the Bears secondary against Purdy, especially considering that there's so many injuries the 49ers are dealing with on both sides of the ball, but especially on the offensive side of the ball.
The holidays are back at Starbucks, and there's so much to share. With classics like Caramel Brulee Latte, Peppermint Mocha, and Chestnut Praline Latte, we're celebrating everyone's flavor of festivity. Order yours in the app.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/campaign to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
My bad. I was trying to turn that volume down on the game. All right. You mentioned him, Isaac Guerrero. He's averaging 6 yards a carry this season in his limited attempts that he's had. In his opportunities, he's looked good. He's got 2 touchdowns on the season already. Like I said, 6 yards per carry. The Bears' rush defense has been horrible all season. And if it's one thing a Shanahan team can do, they can zone block for a relatively unknown running back. Last week against the Lions, the Bears gave up 200 yards, almost 200 yards to the Lions on the ground, which is 50 yards more than what they average on the season. If you do quick math, that's 6 yards a carry. How do we stop Isaac Guerrero?
Can't say that we will stop him. I can't say that we will stop him. I mean, what the Bears got to do is what they've done a lot for the majority of the season as a good defensive unit. When the team gets on the other side or in the inside of our 40, we have to come up with opportunistic plays and stop them because we've been good on the red zone defense, but the run defense has just been spotty. And Guerrero, he's not a big name, but he's a classic running back Shanahan's father has been churning out running backs for decades. I know we remember Terrell Davis, but there was the guys after him. There was Mike Anderson. What was the other kid? Olindo something? Then it was Clinton Portis. There was like 4 or 5 Denver backs that just right after another gaining 1,000 yards. Mike Bell was one of them. So this system works, and the younger Shanahan has continued to tweak it. Even before McCaffrey, Jordan Mason is a guy that's hurt. Who was another guy? I don't even think he's in the league anymore. Elijah
Mitchell. It
seems like they're able to just plug guys in and run the ball. And Guerrero is a guy with great size-speed ratio. He's a guy in a couple of years that could be the feature back in San Francisco. Maybe next year. I don't know what's going on with C-Mac in his lower body, but maybe they're tired of him already and try to get him out of there. So the Bears got to be sound in their gaps. And they got to, when the 49ers get around the 30, they've got to be opportunistic and make big plays like they've done most of the year. I'm not delusional enough to expect the Bears in week 14 to start holding or stopping the run. I just hope that we can limit the run, not give up the huge gains.
I don't have any knowledge as to if this is the case or not, but it's been a significant drop off in being able to defend the run for the Bears this year. And to a man, the Bears players have said it's not the calls aren't different. We're just not executing. I can't believe that that's the case. See, if the calls are not working and you're not executing, somebody will get benched in the pros, right? Something would happen.
It's the strangest thing, because you went from a top 3 run defense and you have virtually the same personnel that has returned. In fact, you have Kevin Byard instead of Eddie Jackson, which is an upgrade in run support. So it's mind-boggling. I know Brisker has missed a few games, but still, you have the same front 7 virtually. I mean, Billings did get hurt, but you weren't defending the run well with Billings there.
So to that point, I'm thinking maybe it's not the players, maybe it's the play caller, maybe it's the design when we want to put a certain amount of players into the box on run downs. Maybe it's something to that effect. Maybe Sanborn. I'm sorry. Maybe Sanborn needs to be on the field more. I don't know.
If you notice, he has been playing more snaps the last weeks, and in fact, I gotta go look over the all 22. But I know he had some good plays, not just making tackles, but setting the edge against Green Bay and Detroit when he was in it. The only thing is with Jack Sanborn, when you bring him in and you bring a third linebacker in, teams want to spread you out and they want to try to isolate those guys. So a couple of times it burned us against Detroit, because then they wanted to go no huddle and they wanted to have an extra wideout on the field. But yeah, maybe to your point, having Sanborn in there more, or as Cole Kmet stated earlier in the season, and a couple other vets, attention to detail. Maybe Eberflus. I mean, they've been throwing Eberflus under the bus a lot.
With good reason. Good reason.
So maybe that's been a huge part of the run D falling off. Matt Eberflus' attention to detail.
I have no reason to believe that Eberflus had a great attention to detail. Some of the reports that we've heard in the last week from Diana Rossini, Brad Biggs, Johns from the Hodge and Johns show, Courtney Cronin, a lot of these players just didn't understand what the hell Eberflus has been talking about since the end of last offseason. They just was not going with what he was talking about. They didn't understand his hiring of Shane Waldron. They didn't understand why he allowed Shane Waldron to call to revamp the entire rushing offense. Something tells me, and I could be grasping at straws, but something tells me that a lot of our issues are rooted right back to Eberflus, and this being one of them, our inability to stop the run. Something as simple and day one as that. Something as innate to Chicago as the Italian beef. Stop the run.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's strange seeing a Bears team that is just getting blown off the ball in the trenches and getting ran on. Even when we're bad, we're supposed to be able to, be physical and stop the run. You got to burn us over the top. You're not supposed to be able to just line up and push us around and push us off the ball. Akeem Hicks would fight somebody. When the Bears were getting mediocre under Nagy, you can rest assured that Akeem Hicks was still going to bully somebody.
It was to sum up our defense against their offense. Who do you think has the upper hand? Who do you think has the advantage coming into Sunday? San Francisco offense with all of their injuries, as you already discussed. Brock Purdy's, he's in a slump. C-Mac out for the year. Jordan Mason, he's on IR. No Ayuk. They've got a couple of other injuries. Debo Samuel, he's checked out. Versus the Bears, who've all got their issues as well. They're on defense. New play caller. Still no Brisker. And a few other injuries we're talking about a little bit later, but just throwing it out there. Who do you think has the upper hand?
I'm going to say the Bears defense. I think they rally around Jalen Johnson, chasing Eberflus out the locker room. I think they play inspired football, and I think the Bears defense. I think they show up and they show out at San Francisco. I mean, this defense played very well against a very explosive Lions offense, which just marched down the field and scored a touchdown on the Packers defense, which has been top 10 majority of the season. They played really good football in the second half against the Lions. It got off a little shaky, but they played good defense. Even when the Lions scored on that first possession, I know they went right down the field, but the Bears defense was countering them. It took 8 minutes, and it wasn't like 8 minutes where it was just dominant. It was like a chess match. You know what I'm saying? Even though the Lions got off those first couple possessions and the Bears defense finally figured them out, you saw the Lions weren't having much success.
Jalen Johnson, Tiff, she's not here today. It's still Thanksgiving holiday for her. I hope she's not still eating leftovers, because that's not good. That's not good, Tiff. I care about your intestines, and please don't do that. She's given Jalen Johnson a Cut the Crap award 2 weeks in a row, but I think he's won an eternal get out of jail free card for him being the one who step up and start the train for getting Eberflus fired. He is my favorite insubordinator of all time.
Them Cali boys been showing out lately. They've been bullying stuff lately. So Jalen falling right in line. And shout out to Tiff. I heard she makes a mean chitlin. That's what I heard. I don't eat chitlins, but I heard Tiff makes really good chitlins. Tiff, please don't eat week-old chitlins. You can't eat week-old booty. Throw it out, please. Throw it out after a day or two. The booty gets stale. Yeah,
don't eat week-old booty. I'm gonna name this episode "Don't Eat Week-Old Booty." Let's move to the other side of the ball, the offense. Caleb has had a QBR of over 95 since Thomas Brown took over as offensive coordinator. The San Francisco 49ers defense was gashed against Jordan Love and Josh Allen the last 2 weeks. That's with Fred Warner playing on a broken ankle and with other injuries on the defense as well as they got on the other side of the ball. This usually tough San Francisco 49ers defense could be vulnerable for a young quarterback that could be vulnerable. Do you think it's so vulnerable that this young quarterback can keep that streak going?
Yes. The 49ers defense did not play good football. They've absolutely not played good. San Francisco looks like a team in total disarray. They're not able to move the ball on offense. They're not able to score a lot of points. They're injured. Their defense hasn't been able to stop anybody. Yes. I think Caleb can absolutely move the ball on. And they got injuries in that secondary too. Bosa, is he playing?
Nick Bosa, he did not practice Wednesday. He did not practice Thursday. So he is.
Correction.
He's got it. Yeah, he probably did use some PTO so he could practice, get ready for an insurrection. I wouldn't put it past him. But right now, his status for Sunday is up in the air.
Well, at least he won't be able to terrorize Darnell Wright. That's a good thing. Tired of Darnell and Braxton Jones getting terrorized. Tired of our offensive line getting terrorized.
I would agree with you. I think if I was betting, right? If I was betting on Caleb Williams having another 90 QBR game against this week to make it a fourth week in a row, I would take that. I would take that just because of everything that we've said already. This team, the San Francisco 49ers, they came into the season as with the last dance feel, but they are definitely not the Chicago Bulls. They are definitely not getting it done. This is more so like
Aaron Rodgers with Devontae Adams.
Yes, they look more so like that last dance. Sidebar. They look like some clowns doing all that bozo stuff. Channel 9 games on Instagram. Last dance. We gonna slug it out for the Packers. Then we'll go our separate ways. They did all that. Packers were mid that last year together. Then they went their separate ways. Then they came back together on the Jazz and was still ass.
And let's not forget, they were mid when they were away from each other. Devontae Adams had one pretty good year with the Raiders and has been pretty much. And if you look at the film, Devontae doesn't create the separation anymore. He looks like a guy that's been paid and is happy with this career and forgot that he was heading towards that gold jacket. Devontae, I don't know if this is the finish to a gold jacket career.
It's definitely not the finishing of a gold jacket career. I think, and this is a long-winded conversation. I don't want to get too deep in the woods here, but in the NFL, voters have already made their mind up about you by the time you're in your year 5 or year 6, whether or not you're going to the Hall of Fame. Devontae, he was on the bubble. He was probably the best wide receiver in the game for a good 3 to 4 years. I would go with that. 3 to 4 years. But as far as a Hall of Famer, he was on the bubble, and his bubble argument has not been good. I mean, after the fact.
I think voters are also taking into account that this is a era where it's more passer friendly, receiver friendly, because it was unheard of if a guy got over 10,000 yards and wasn't in the Hall of Fame. But there's no push for Brandon Marshall to go to the Hall of Fame. And there's a couple other 10,000-yard receivers not in. So Devontae Adams looked like for a while that he was trending that way. But you bring up a good point. Voters kind of decide what they're going to do with you by year 5 or 6.
Just to go back to what we were talking about, Caleb Williams against this offense, against this defense. So this defense is not playing well, and Caleb is playing, and Caleb is playing well. So we're liking that matchup. Another thing that's been on the uptick since Thomas Brown took over as offensive coordinator, Caleb Williams rushing 3 straight games of 30 yards or more. If you're asking me in this game, I like that streak to continue. Take the over.
I agree. And I said before the draft, I said after the draft, when we got Caleb, that his rushing ability was greatly underrated. And I'm happy to see the Bears utilize that because he's an underrated athlete, and he has maybe he doesn't have the straight line speed that Lamar and Justin Fields have, but he's definitely got short area quickness. He's got shiftiness. He can make guys miss, and he doesn't have bad straight line speed. So I think that's, as I keep saying, I think that's a great weapon and a good thing to put into the minds of defense coordinators and put pressure on defenders when they can't just line up in man coverage and turn their back and worry and not worry about the quarterback remaining in the pocket. When the quarterback get out the pocket with their man coverage with their backs to the line of scrimmage, that's dangerous because once he breaks the pocket, he's got about 8 to 10 yards of open grass. So yeah, I'm definitely for the continued usage of Caleb run safely. I don't need to see any more of what happened last week where was it Rodriguez gave him that awkward hit. I don't need to see that. I don't need to see you give yourself up maybe late, although I don't think Trevor Lawrence gave himself up late. I don't want you to give yourself up late and take a bad hit that leads to concussion or time missed.
Another sidebar for this episode. We're going to be sidebarred out. Your boy, Al-Shahir Shaziz, up to his old tricks again. He got away with it with the Bears.
He did.
The Jags stood on business with him though. When he hit T-Law, they went after him. And now he's in his feelings. He said, "Man, now I'm the Joker." No, bro, you're just a clown. That's it.
That's all. And for those of you defending him, please stop. You can look at screenshots. Trevor Lawrence goes into a slide. He's about 7, 8 yards away from Al. And I know a lot of you aren't good at math or conversions. 8 yards is about 26 feet. There's no way that Al did not realize he was sliding. And I've seen guys, the quarterback slides and it's kind of late and they were running full speed. You didn't have to lead with your forearm to his head. That never needed to happen. I've seen guys fall on the quarterback, leap over the quarterback, just tap the quarterback. Never, ever did your forearms need to lead in front of you and go to his forehead forcefully. No excuse for that guy. Only thing I'm mad about is that the Jaguars stood on business and we didn't. They did exactly what they were supposed to do.
I'm so mad about that. The Bears, we gotta start stumping, man. We gotta start sliding.
I really think if they would have stood on business there, that might have got him tossed from the game. I think the Jags' reaction made the officials react.
I mean, that's a good thought process. I mean, sometimes if nobody else is reacting crazy about it, then their reactions will play off those reactions, right? If it's anything else that I would like to see in this last 5 weeks of this season is 1, the continued growth of Caleb Williams, and 2, we start sliding on our ops.
Please.
Last thing on this offense, our offense is San Francisco rush defense. So their rush defense is on the hot seat right now. Their rush defense didn't look too hot against Buffalo last week. They gave up 220 yards, 3 touchdowns to the Buffalo Bills. I personally want to excuse a lot of that to the snow. But did you see something different in that? Like, were they compromised on the gaps? They took bad angles. Was it a bad defensive outing on the ground in general, regardless of the snow?
I think it's what's kind of been trending for San Francisco. They have not played good in any of the phases of football. So no, I can't blame it simply on the snow, because Josh Jacobs was running over them and Emmanuel Wilson was running over them too. And there was nothing but clear skies and 49ers laying on their backside. That's all. That's what there was that day. So no, I'm not going to excuse it on the snow, because the Bills' offensive line weren't having a problem getting upfield and laying the lumber to people. So the 49ers just look like a disheveled unit. They look like they mailed it in, to be honest with you. Like they said, look, this isn't our year, and we're not even going to fight anymore.
This episode is brought to you by Amazon. The holidays are here, and you know what that means. It's time to get your friends and family the gifts they deserve. Take the stress out of shopping with Amazon's great deals and low prices on a huge range of items, from toys to tech and much more. Whoever you're gifting for, Amazon has great prices on everything you need this holiday season. Shop Amazon for all your gifting needs.
Yeah, you pointed that out. They're just trending bad in all facets of the game. They don't look like the typical San Francisco 49ers. They're headed for another rebuild, which isn't the worst thing in the world for San Francisco. They've been successful in their rebuilds, each and every one of them, the last 20 years.
Yeah.
They've been to Super Bowl 3 times in the last 20 years. So,
yep.
And they've had 3 different rebuilds. So I mean,
championship couple more times than that too.
Yeah, I'm not even see. So it's not all bad for San Francisco. Go ahead, break it up. They won't be like the Chicago Bulls to compare them again. They won't be like the '98 Bulls where the breakup happens and they never get back.
That's totally unnecessary. There's no reason for you to do that.
I compared them to the Bulls earlier in the episode. You took that one.
That was okay. When we talk Bulls, we should talk to this team in reverence.
In reverence?
and reverence. I think it's the last team in Chicago to go back to back. I don't think the Blackhawks ever repeated. I think they spaced out their 3 titles.
They didn't.
I think 20.
Sure, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, you may be right. Yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and say you're right about that because I don't know. Soon we will have some blackout coverage on this channel.
Let's go.
Talk about injuries before we start. Give our prediction. Like the injury report today is not very encouraging from either side of the ball. If this continues throughout the week, Thursday and Friday, or Friday in particular, it might be, this game might be a lot closer than what we've been previewing throughout this episode. Keenan Allen didn't practice on Wednesday. Ryan Bates didn't practice on Wednesday. He's still in concussion protocol. Elijah Hicks didn't practice. Roshan Johnson, he's still in concussion protocol. DJ Moore, he's still nursing a quad. DeAndre Swift with a quad. Kevin Byard was limited with a shoulder. Coleman Shelton limited with a shoulder. Darnell Wright was limited with a knee. But Thursday's intel is what's most important, right? So starting with the Bears. Keenan Allen, like I said, he didn't practice on Wednesday. He was a full participant on Thursday, so he's trending towards playing. Bates, still a concussion. He did not practice none this week so far. Elijah Hicks, same thing with Roshan Johnson and DJ Moore and DeAndre Swift. Those 2 last names are the ones that's going to, pique everyone's eyebrows. So they need some type of practice on Friday if they're going to play at all. And Byard, he's been limited all week. Same with Coleman Shelton. Darnell Wright, he did just like Keenan Allen. He had a limited practice on Wednesday, but he was a full participant on Thursday. So while we were smelling the farce of the Bears this all episode over the San Francisco 49ers, they look a lot more beat up than the 49ers are. 49ers injury report reads like this. Aaron Banks in concussion protocol, hasn't practiced all week. Nick Bosa, we already said, hip and oblique injuries. He hasn't practiced all week, Wednesday and Thursday with DNPs. Demetrius Fowles did not practice on Wednesday, limited on Thursday. Jordan Mason, you already know he's on injury reserve. Trent Williams, they're all world left tackle, hasn't practiced all week. Dre Greenlaw, Tanaloa Huffananga. I'm blanking on this. I'm messing his name up.
A really good safety.
Very good safety. Dre Greenlaw. I don't think he's played all year.
Yeah.
But those 2 guys, they've been limited all week. And Tanaloa, he's like you said, a very good safety. I don't think he's played in a while either, but he's notching limiteds, right? Like Dre Greenlaw. So they may be getting those guys back right when it's critical.
They both had devastating injuries last season. The ACL, Greenlaw in the Super Bowl with the Achilles. So,
was it the Super Bowl or was it the championship game?
Super Bowl. Remember that was the Super Bowl coming back onto the field, and the Achilles blew, and that was the things when the game started to turn for the Chiefs.
Everybody else for the 49ers has had a full participation in practice on Thursday. Dominic Puni, Brock Purdy, and Brock Purdy. Everybody else, those guys all have full participations on Thursday. So we can expect them to play. With the injury report intact and everything else we've said so far, let's get a prediction. Where do you stand with this game Sunday? Bears versus Niners. Last I looked, the Bears were 4-point dogs in this game. As of right now, recording this episode during Thursday Night Football, they have the Bears as 3.5 now. How do you see this game going, Q?
I love the Bears to cover, and I love them to win outright. I think Thomas Brown gets Gatorade dumped over his head and gets his first win as Chicago Bears interim head coach. Bears 24, 49ers 17.
See, that's why you my dog. I got the exact same thing. I got the Bears. Actually, I got the Bears scoring a little bit more than 24. I got the Bears holding them under 21. The Bears haven't allowed anybody to score over 24 the last 4 weeks, I think. No, 3 of the last 4 games because the Vikings scored 30. So I got them holding San Francisco under 20 points, 17, Bears 30.
Nice. How many Caleb Williams tutties are we getting?
Get another 3. Another 3 out of the rookie.
Only thing concerned about this game is this would have been the game where you would have loved to have Khalil Herbert with Roshan and Swift beat up. This would be the one. This would be the Khalil Herbert game.
Or Velas. I'm still mad what Tiff said that we haven't won since Velas got cut. I'm so mad about that, man.
Do right by Velas.
Man, go get bro back. Go sign him back to the practice squad. Him and his squirrel, his pet squirrel. Go get him, man. We need that juju.
Bear down, bear claws up. Get Thomas his first win.
Let's go, man. We rocking out for HNICs everywhere.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for listening to this latest edition from the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel. Whether you listen to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or watching on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, share with a friend, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a drop. And all my homies from Chicago, we say 3 things: bear down, go Cubs go, and sell the team, Jerry.